What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for the final week of building the Battle of Jabiim. The end and finale is almost here, but of course, leave it to the last week for a huge problem. Well, I don't know that huge, but a big problem to emerge. It was kind of my own fault, but we'll talk about that more later on. This week, I'm really going to be focusing on the smaller little builds, trying to make sure each little section is finished. I'm going to assemble the base, figure out where all the crates are going to go, where I'm going to put the fighter tank, and stuff like that. If you're excited to see the final update, don't forget to execute Order 66 on that like button. And while you're down there, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and tapping that notification bell so you'll be notified as soon as the finale video for this mock drops. I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is everything for Jabiim that I still need, like all the parts, have been ordered and they're on their way. The bad news is they're all on their way still, and I don't know when they're going to be here. They're coming from Canada, and sometimes when I get stuff from Canada, the shipping never really gives me a good date until like the day before. So I'm hoping they come this week. That being said, that leads me into a very big problem of this is supposed to be the final update for building Jabiim, just like I said last week, and I really don't want to throw myself off schedule because I've got a lot of plans for August, a lot of things happening, and it's going to be a busy month. So that means this update is going to be shorter and a little less explosive with the building and content that you guys are used to, and I do apologize for that. But that being said, this was going to be the final episode for Jabiim, and the parts I'm missing are for the minifigures and for some tiling over here in this section. So there wasn't going to be a lot of like hardcore building or progress in this update anyways. There'll just be a little bit less to show you guys, and this update's probably only going to be like 5 to 6 minutes instead of 8 to 9 minutes. With all that out of the way, if things go to plan, that means the finale will be next Thursday. But on to this week, what am I going to do? There are still some things that I can do and need to do and have the parts for. But before I get into that, I want to show you what got done kind of like the end of last week. I built this awesome olive green crate. I'm in love with this design. I love how it looks. It's such a sturdy looking thing. It has absolutely no functional use to it. You can see it's just hollow. But I just like the way it looks. It's very aesthetically pleasing and just matches the vibe of Jabiim so well. I got the idea for this from the actual base. If you look down in the bottom corner of the picture of the base, you can see this olive green looking thing with some ridges on the top, and I basically created what I thought the whole thing would look like, because you can only see a section of it. I did also get some more plant clusters in that you guys saw on the time lapse. I probably will put in at least one more, but I gotta put in the rest of the base first so I can figure out where to put them, because I want them to be in like the non-traversed areas, kind of like how you've got this little section over here clinging to the side of the wall. So what I'm going to be doing next is working on this silo. My friend Slipstream last week suggested running some smaller pipes off the side of this, and I thought that was a great idea. Kind of gives the idea, that this is feeding other things throughout the base. And another thing I need to fix is a couple of these panels aren't sitting on any studs because it's all tile right here. And I don't like that because it causes there to be a gap right here because I can't keep it flush because they're not connected, so they pop out. So I'm going to be pulling up some of that and putting down some studs. And then I also want to lay out everything that's done so far for the base. I want to figure out where the crate's going to go, these crates, the tents, boxes, maybe see if there's space for another building, if I'm going to need some other stuff over here. I'm going to tackle that silo now, starting by tearing up the tile around the base. This was a big struggle, as you can see, with the whole thing immediately breaking. I just clipped my nails and the brick separator was not working. But after a long battle, I was victorious and I finally was able to get that plate down and reconnect the quarter cylinders with a much better connection to the ground. Now I'm going to start making some smaller pipes and attach them to the silo. I really like Slipstream's idea, and it makes the silo look like a large storage tank with smaller pipes either feeding it or drawing out whatever is inside for other areas of the base. Unfortunately, I don't have any round elbow pieces, so I'm going to need to use these 90-degree brackets, and I will fill that hole later. here it is. One last look at Jabiim before the finale. So I got all of the tents and crates and other stuff put in. I think they fill out the base very nicely. I don't think there is a need for any more structures to this base. You know, it was kind of like a forward operating base, pretty temporary. The clones came and inhabited it. They didn't really build it themselves. So I think this fits that vibe very well. This is probably where I'm going to have the fighter tank chilling around here somewhere. And then I've got this little valley area pretty much finished off. I might end up adding some more plants or something down here because it's a little plain. A couple things I wanted to point out with the silo. I got those pipes in, and then I filled up the hole in the 90-degree brackets with just a little half pin, and then I put a stud on this one. But over here, I added a little pressure gauge, and I thought that was kind of a cool little detail and just added some more realism to this mock. And then down here, I've got this little keypad for controlling the pipes and silo and just other stuff to do with this area. That's pretty much everything I wanted to show you guys. I did forget, I wanted to show you guys this camo net before I started to take it apart. I had in the last thumbnail, I had a little sniper's nest up here, and this is like a partially constructed camo net that was protecting it. I'm definitely going to use this in future mocks. I just use studs and other random 1x pieces to create the camouflage in the netting, and then, you know, I can either drape it over a sniper's nest, I can drape it over like a cave entrance, or even like a door if I wanted to in the future, build a structure, but didn't want it to have like, you know, a solid door. This series is over. The next time you see this mock, it will be completely finished. The finale will come out next Thursday, but it will be coming out early for my Patreon members. So if you're interested in seeing the Jabiim finale before everyone else, check out my Patreon. I will put a link to it down below in the comments. All that being said, that wraps up this episode. Time to hit the outro. What a ride. Just something about Jabiim. Like, the series felt new to me for almost the entirety of the project. I don't know why. Like, I was thinking, oh, Jabiim, it's such a new series. But here we are, like, week 12, 13, 14, I can't even remember what week I'm on, and the finale's coming up next week. I'm done. Pretty much the finished mock is sitting here before me. You know, I'm just waiting on some of those pieces and then setting up the minifigures. I am very happy that the mock is going to be proceeding on schedule with the finale coming out next week, though. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about this update down below in the comments, and I hope you guys are hyped for the finale. All that being said, I'll catch you guys next time, but until then, happy building.